Hello everybody, today I have an interesting one for you. This is a Lights of America 3-way CFL bulb. Now this is interesting because it's a very early CFL in the 3-way configuration. Now they did make 3-way CFLs, obviously. There were many different brands, but they never really caught on. And this is probably the earliest version I've ever seen. Now there's different styles of them out there. I know Philips made one that had two separate curled up tubes inside, and some of them, like this one, as I'm assuming, have different levels in their ballast that can be tapped to just bring the tube to, well, different brightnesses. So, this is a very early 3-way CFL bulb. Very cool. Picked this up at the Restore the other day for 50 cents, and it's pretty much brand new in package. However, somebody has opened it and given it a test and decided they didn't want it and put it back in the package, and then it probably just sat in their house forever until they donated it to the Restore. Either way, here's the front of the packaging, and I'm super happy to have the packaging with this. So, obviously, we see our different wattages here, 13, 23, and 32. It's the same as a 50, 100, or 150 watt incandescent. 3-way twister, 7-year bulb, yep, if used for, like, no minutes per day, I'm sure. But some of these early Lights of America CFLs, like this electronically ballasted one, they lasted a very long time. I have yet to find one of these, actually, that doesn't work anymore. I have a lot of really old ones that were seen in recycling bins, and they still work. I don't know if people just got tired of them or what, but I have yet to find one of these that's actually burned out, these early Lights of America versions. So, it outlasts up to 8 standard bulbs and saves you $376 when used 4 hours per day. And at the bottom here, we have more information. We have 800, 1450, and 2600 lumens. So the 800 here, that's about a 60 watt equivalent. I do know that off the top of my head. And I'm guessing then these other two are pretty close to what they're claiming here at the top as well. Of course, we have our model here at the bottom. This is the 2433 Energy Saver. And on the back, we have basically the same information here. They have just one of their standard CFLs for a picture here. Cost savings, cautionary information, copyright 2003. Wow. We have some more information here on the side as well. Apparently it has some type of warranty. Interesting. So there's the back of the packaging. Let's go ahead and take the bulb out. Now this thing is just so comical. Look at it. Look at the ballast housing versus the CFL tube. It is so comical. This bottom half was totally designed for other bulbs, and then they put this different top half on. I mean, just look, it's totally different types of plastic too. This is a, more of an ivory colored plastic, and this is more of a pure white. It's two totally different enclosures. I'm sure they just had a bunch of standard parts, like the bottom halves here, and then they would just design different tops to put on it, because I think I've seen this type of bottom with their circle line adapters and stuff too. So I'm sure they just use different, parts to put on it and try to make, mass produce just the bottom half, for example. So obviously we have our twisted curly Q tube here at the top. It has a pretty big spacing in between all of it compared to a little bit more of a modern CFL here. Just for some giggles, let's take a look at a standard A19. I unfortunately don't have a 3-way, an easy grabbing distance or findability to compare this with, but yeah, it's definitely twice as long, or tall, I should say. Now, the interesting part here is this base. Look at this. I've never seen a CFL 3-way base before like this. Now, they're pretty well known, Lights of America, to have a base of this style that's kind of all plastic with just the riveted on parts. But like I said, this is the first time I've seen a 3-way version. So we have our main contact in the middle, our secondary contact for what would be the second filament, but the, one of the light levels. And then of course you power both to get the max brightness. So there must be either two separate circuits in here to power the bulb, and when put together, it just gives it enough oomph to do the whole thing. Or there's a sensor in here to know what voltage is coming from where. Not entirely sure. Taking a look at the top here, you can definitely see that the tube is much smaller than the enclosure, and there's even a bump in the center there. Now, having some of these early Lights of America CFLs, my grandparents got me one of the very first ones, pretty much like the one in the picture here. Well, it was exactly that, actually, that exact style of one. And we used it in a table lamp for the longest time, and, you know, bugs and stuff would end up down in there in the summertime, and, you know, ladybugs and whatnot, and that would be the end of them, because they'd get stuck in this helical spiral of madness, I suppose. Okay, let's take a look at the etch here. Self-ballasted, 32 watts. It just shows the 1 wattage here. 500 milliamps max. Not for use with dimmers, naturally. Lights of America. That's all we have. We just have the one stamp here. They call it the multi-light. Do they say that on here? No, I don't see anything that says multi-light referencing what they have printed on the bulb itself. But I suppose that's what we'll call it. We'll call it the multi-light. That's what that model is called anyway. Okay, enough of me rambling about this unique bulb. Let's go ahead and get it into a socket here, because we need to enjoy it. Now, this is a 3-way socket, so we will be able to enjoy it appropriately. And I'm going to get our meter booted up here, so it's all ready to go. I have tested this bulb. It does work. They did have a testing lamp at the Restore there where you can test your bulbs. This particular one does anyway. So I always do that. Unless it's a really rare one and I don't care. I just want to, you know, get it for its unique shape. Anyway, it does work. So let's see. Where do we want to start? Well, let's turn off our lights. And I guess we'll just turn it on. So this should be low. Oh, that thing's got a scream. Let me see if I can put it next to a microphone. I don't know if you can hear that, but it has a nasty high-pitched whine. Absolutely annoying. 2, this is the medium setting. It's gone away and the color temperature has changed. And 3, the color temperature has changed again and it's insanely quiet. So, it certainly does not like low. It does not like low at all. Now, I'm going to run this on high for a little while. Since I haven't ran it for a decent amount of time, I just want to make sure that we get this all lit up appropriately. And it does appear to be brightening up quickly, but I just want to make sure when we do our light levels here that we got the appropriate brightness. I've let the bulb warm up here for about 1.5 minutes, and it's definitely at full brightness now. This thing is incredibly bright. Definitely pretty much equivalent to a 150 watt incandescent. So I'll give them on their ratings. I think they're pretty close to what they should be. So let's go ahead and get some readings. Now there's a couple different things to take note of here while we do this. On low, we seem to have a little bit of a different color temperature here, even though it is dimmed down, compared to medium and high. High looks a little bit more yellow to me, and low looks a little bit more blue to me. So let's start off with low. I'm going to hold it up here at an angle at our 2-foot mark. And let's get our first reading here. So we are at 140 lux on low. We'll save that as number 40. The spectrum of the bulb on low at 2 feet. And the CRI of the bulb on low at 2 feet. Let's move it up to medium. And we get 277 lux for medium. The spectrum of the bulb on medium at 2 feet. And the CRI of the bulb on medium at 2 feet. And then we have high. I don't know if that changed. There it is. There it is. At 500 lux on high. The spectrum of the bulb on high at 2 feet, and the CRI of the bulb on high at 2 feet. Let's bring it on down, and we're going to move it back to low. And we're going to hold it right here next to the sensor to make sure we rule out any other light in the room getting to it. And let's get a reading. We'll save that. The spectrum of the bulb on low up close. And the CRI of the bulb on low up close. 2,666 Kelvin is what we have. So let's move it up to medium. Hitting the wrong buttons, I took the reading again, and we're at 2,669 Kelvin for medium. The spectrum of the bulb on medium up close, and the CRI of the bulb on medium up close. And now we have high at 2,697 Kelvin. The spectrum of the bulb on high up close, and the CRI of the bulb on high up close. So very interesting ratings here in that the color temperature changes ever so slightly as it gets to a higher brightness. Just a very unique bulb. Now, if you may remember in the beginning, we kind of had a noise when it was on low. But now with the bulb brightened up all the way and warmed up, on low, it doesn't make that high-pitched noise anymore. It's totally gone. It's silent at this point. It's funny, you can see the, let's see, can we capture it again? You can see the little bits of mercury inside, actually. They were there a second ago. Where did they go? Oh, now they fell down somewhere else. But you can see the little specks. I know you can't see it on camera. Let's see if I can focus here. You can see little specks of it there, and then it's gone. So they definitely have the mercury in this thing. There it is again. So that's why it warms up so quickly in its settings. One last thing that we need to do is take a look at our multimeter here. So we're at 118.5 volts, 0.19 amps on low, 11.9 watts on low, and a power factor of 0.51 on low. So let's go ahead and move it up to medium here. We're now at 0.26 amps, 18.2 watts, and a power factor of 0.57. And finally, we have high with amps of 0.47, 31.6 watts, and a power factor of 0.56. Very unique bulb. Really, really cool find. I can't say I've ever seen something like this. It's just so weird. Look at the tube is basically as big as the ballast compartment. It is just something to look at. It should really be a museum piece. As always, I do hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, be sure to give it a like down below and leave a comment. I do enjoy reading all of your comments. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more great videos like this one. Also check out my secondary channel Merkove and subscribe over there for more behind the scenes and alternative content. Of course, check out the other videos here on this screen, and as always, thank you very much for watching.